Hey guys, I hope you're having a good day and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about the Dragon Knight. Now this is a Magic Dragon Knight build. I really love the TK. It was my first character that I built and I loved playing around with it. And this build has great damage, great recovery, and overall it has a very well balanced survivability. With that being said, let's get right into the build. First, let's look into our stats. Alright, so for the potions we are using tripods. So our mag recovery is at 1300, stamp recovery is the same as well. Max magicka is at 23k. Max health is at 31k, max stamina is at 14, right? And the attributes, we have 31 points into magicka and 33 into health. Let's look at our spell damage when buffed. So we have 6k weapon damage and 5000 spell damage. We have weapon critical at 28k, and our physical and spell resistance on the back bar is 28k spell resist, 24k physical resist. We are running Bloodspawn, so that will add up a little more. And for the food, we are using Jewels of Misrule. It increases your magicka and stamina recovery by 300 and max health by 3465. For the Mundus, we are running the Warrior. It increases your weapon damage. And we are a stage 3 vampire. It shows stage 2, but it's actually stage 3. Right. So let's get into our skills. Alright, the back bar skills. We're running first skill is Race Against Time. This is your snare removal, increases your movement speed by 30% and it gives you minor force for 20 seconds, which increases your critical damage by 10%. Next is Coagulating Blood, known as Coag. This is your burst heal, one of the best heals in the game. It heals you 50% additional based on your missing health. Next is Resolving Vigor, which is your heal over time, and it also gives you minor resolve, which increases your physical and spell resistance for 20 seconds. Volatile Armor, this is your armor buff, which gives you major resolve, increasing your physical and spell resistance. And it also sprays spikes, which does a small bit of dot damage. Next is Igneous Weapons, which is this is how we get our major brutality and sorcery, which increases your weapon and spell damage by 20% for almost a minute, for more than a minute actually. So you just cast this and you're good. Now the ultimate on the back bar is Corrosive Armor. I'm running Corrosive because I like the extra tankiness and damage, but you can go Magma Shell, because reason being is, while in Corrosive you cannot generate ultimate, whereas in Magma Shell you can. And plus DK is all about the ultimate. You can generate your ultimate on your back bar and immediately hit another leap. So this is up to you as to what ultimate you want on the back bar. And the skills on the front bar. First skill is Molten Whip. So Molten Whip is your spammable. Basically when it does a lot of damage. So when you're buffed and in combat, let's check this out. So around 15k damage it does, your Molten Whip does. So this is really good spell, and while you have this on on your bar, it also gives you a stack of Seething Fury, increases your next Molten Whip by 20%, and your weapon and spell damage by 100 for 15 seconds. This stacks up 3 times, so as mentioned before, you're stacking up this 1, 2, 3. So any Hardened Heart ability, you spam thrice, it builds a stack, and then you get the major whip. Alright, so once you use your whip, it gets consumed, so you will need to cast it again. 2, 3, and then it consumes the whip. Alright, so that's your first skill. Next is Burning Talons. I love this skill on the Magical Dragonite. It gives you a dot and also it roots people into place, so you can hit your whips so that they don't go running around the map. So it initially does damage for around 7k, and then an additional dot, it puts a dot on them for another 5 seconds, so it's really good. Plus your allies can activate the synergy. Next skill on the bar is Noxious Breath. This is your breach. It gives you major breach and decreasing the physical and spell resistance for your enemies. Also it applies a dot which does poison damage for 24 seconds. Now this is really good, so it helps you get Nightblades out of stealth. So I wouldn't spam this, but this is your breach. Next skill is Shattering Rocks. You could go with Fossilize, but I went with Shattering Rocks because it gives you the heal. It's your stun, so they take damage when the stun ends, and also it heals you for a small bit of health. Next is Flames of Oblivion. This is also a spammable, so it shoots out 3 fireballs at your enemies, dealing damage. Also it gives you your Major Prophecy and Savagery, which increases your weapon critical by 2629. Ultimate on the front bar is Ferocious Leap. So Leap is really good. So when buffed, let's check it out when we buff it up as to how much damage it does. It's around 18k damage on your jump, and also it gives you around 33,000 damage shield for 6 seconds. So if you want to survive, just jump into someone, it gives you a damage shield. You can use that time to heal up and go back onto your damage. So if you're 1v-xing, this is a really good ultimate. Now this build which we are doing is mostly for a 1v1 build. 1v-x you can, but I'm not that good at 1v-xing, so I like to go into a 1v1 or 1v2 battles. So that's how I'm good at, but you can try 1v-xing if you're really good, because I have a problem blocking. I always forget to block, so that's something I need to improve on. Alright, now next moving on to the sets. Right, for a back bar we are running Ice Stuff of Daedric Trickery. So this is our back bar set. What it does is when you deal damage, you get one of the major random buffs for 21 seconds every 9 seconds. So you can stack these. So the eligible buffs are Expedition, Protection, Mending, Heroism or Vitality. So we are looking for that Heroism buff, which gives you ultimate. So we can leap all days. Monster set we are running is Bloodspawn. So 2-piece Bloodspawn gives you you again generate ultimate, as well as it gives you your physical and spell resistance. It increases for 5 seconds, so every 5 seconds you have a chance. And then we're running 1-piece Trainee, which is one of the best 1-piece sets out there. It gives you max health, So that's really good. And we're running Sea Serpent's Coil. You can go Markin, but I like the Sea Serpent's Coil because it gives you the damage reduction, as well as it helps you get Major Berserk and Major Courage, increasing your weapon and spell damage by 430. So that's really good. It pushes your weapon damage even more. I cannot proc it right here. I need to proc it in combat. So when you take damage at full health, it gives you the Serpent's Rebuke for 10 seconds, snaring yourself for 40 seconds. So that's why we are using Race Against Time for the speed buff, so that kind of negates the snaring, and it gives you a good chunk of weapon and spell damage. And the set we're running on the front bar is Burning Spell Weave. There's no doubt about this, that this is one of the best sets for a Magicka DK. So when you deal flame damage with a flame damage ability, that is your Flames of Oblivion, your Talons. So when you deal flame damage with a flame damage ability, you apply a burning status effect to the enemy and increases your weapon and spell damage by 473 for 8 seconds. And this effect can occur every once 12 seconds. So there's a 4-second downtime, but you have this almost 90% of the time. So always apply your dots, that's your Flames of Oblivion and stuff. So we are running 4 heavy, 1 light, 1 medium is what we are running. And we are using Max Magicka enchants. I don't know why I have stamina enchant, but I need to change that to Magicka, more damage. And on those jewelry we are using Infused and 2 Bloodthirsty, and all our weapon damage enchants. Main hands we are running 2 Swords of Burning Spellweave, 1 non-honed, the other is charged with disease damage, and main hand is shock damage to apply that minor vulnerability. Helps a lot. So I have swords, so I've gone with swords. You can go with maces if you'd like, that's up to you. So next let's look at our champion points. Blue tree we are having Fighting Finesse, increasing your critical damage and healing. Focus Mending, increasing your healing. Master at Arms, increasing your direct damage attacks. Ironclad, reducing your damage. You can remove Fighting Finesse and you can slot in Deadly Aim if you'd like, but I like the extra crit damage and healing. And for the red tree we have Sustained by Suffering, gives you a bunch of recovery. Pain's Refuge, Survival Instincts, Celerity for the movement speed. Green tree, Rashna, Liquid Efficiency, Grifted Rider and Steed's Blessings. That's it for the video guys, I hope it helps you. Please leave a like and comment below, and please do subscribe to my channel, it helps a lot, it's absolutely free. And don't forget, there's a bonus clip at the end. If you're stuck around, you can check it out after this. Thank you for watching and happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and I'll see you guys in the new year.